Performance Squad, it's Coach Riley in the building, and today is going to be episode 3 of Cooking with Dan. Let's jump right into it. And we are back. As you guys read by the title, today is Cooking with Dan, episode number 3. And I've got a nice meal plan set up for you guys. Anyone who's looking to meal prep, take the guesswork out of what you need to buy from the grocery store, what type of foods you need to eat to gain muscle or lose fat, I got you covered. So today, on today's menu, we're gonna be cooking a tuna steak with a side of steamed broccoli and quinoa. And just to give you guys a couple benefits from each food item we're gonna be preparing today, as far as the tuna steak, if you have a alternative taste outside of meat or beef or anything of that nature, tuna steak gives you a great balance of protein. You get your cholesterols as well as your vitamins E and K. And then as far as the broccoli, great source of antioxidants, will definitely help with that immune system. And lastly would be our brown rice and quinoa. It's a great source of fiber. And for the fellas who are watching this video, 30 grams of fiber per day. Ladies, 20 grams of fiber per day. So make sure you always have your grains incorporated in every meal prep. And let's just get right into it, guys. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna be doing here is we're going to be washing our tuna steak. You guys wanna make sure anytime you buy any poultry from the grocery store or any type of food that you need to prepare, you always wanna make sure that you wash it. Make sure it's as fresh and clean as possible. So make sure you really get those angles and really clean the tuna in entirety. You guys have to understand you're gonna be eating this, so you're gonna make sure that it's all clean. And after we wash our tuna steak, making sure that everything is nice and clean, we are going to preparing the dry rub as well as the sauces for our tuna steak. So as you guys can see right here, we have our black pepper, we have our sea salt, we have our garlic and herb, we have our onion powder, we also have red cooking wine, white cooking wine, and olive oil. Okay, as you guys can see in this shot right here, the oven has been preheating at about 450 degrees. So once we've dry rubbed our tuna steak and we've added all of our ingredients, we're gonna go ahead and place this in the oven for about 15 minutes. And we're gonna let everything cook on one side, and then we're gonna go ahead and flip it. Okay, so now that it's been cooking for the past 15 minutes, we're actually gonna be cooking this for about an hour and a half, but I like to do it in 15-minute increments. So you guys wanna make sure when you flip that tuna steak over, it's not gonna be fully cooked. You just wanna make sure it's cooking evenly for 15 minutes on each side. So we're gonna repeat that process until we get to about an hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half. You wanna make sure that you're checking your tuna, and I'll show you guys exactly what we're gonna be adding on the last 30 minutes of our cooking cycle. So let's get back into it. Okay, so now that our tuna steak is back in the oven for that second 15-minute increment cooking cycle, we're gonna go ahead and get started on our two sides. The first is going to be our brown rice and quinoa. It is from a reputable brand. I'll leave that link down below as far as if you guys wanna choose that same brand. But what we're gonna do first is we're gonna go ahead and put the rice in a pan, add a slight bit of water, and we're gonna put our cooking temperature on medium, and we're just gonna stir. Just stir for a little bit, let it simmer, and then we're gonna go ahead and check on that tuna again. Okay, so now that the rice is cooking slowly on our burner here, we're gonna go ahead and grab the final side item here, and we have frozen broccoli florets. Now, I recommend you adding a cup of this broccoli into a pan, adding a half cup of water and stirring. You wanna make sure that you don't have too much water because you don't wanna have your broccoli being soggy. You want your broccoli to be nice and firm. And as you guys can see right here, we have a little bit of seasoning because these broccoli florets are dry. So you wanna make sure you add a little bit of seasoning, not too much now, because this is Cooking with Dan, so this is not your typical broccoli recipe. So you guys wanna make sure that you go a little light on the seasoning. We gotta stay healthy over here. So let's check back in with those steaks though. Okay, so now that our tuna steak has been in the oven cooking for about 30 minutes, remember guys, we did season this before we added it in. And for the last final touch, for the last hour that our tuna steak is cooking, we're gonna be adding 2 types of sauce. We have our teriyaki sauce, and then we also have our lemon pepper marinade. Now for the last hour for this cooking session, we're gonna add the teriyaki first to one side, let that cook for about 30 minutes. We're gonna flip that over, and then we're gonna go ahead and add the lemon pepper for that final 30 minutes. And I'll show you guys the finished product once it's done. All right, Performance Squad, just as promised, we have our final project here. As you guys can see, our tuna steak is cooked all the way. We have our 2 sides here. We got the broccoli and we got the brown rice. And to top it off, you guys know we had to have a sparkling cider. So let's go ahead and dig in and see what we did. All right, grab me a little bite right here. Let's do it. Man. I'm Chef Dan. Y'all stay tuned for this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And stay tuned for the next episode of Cooking with Dan. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys want to see me cook next.